Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to LEGO DC Supervillains. Yeah, that's the name of this game. We have a few more levels to run through to try and get the red bricks, and then we are free to buy the red bricks when we have the stud multipliers, red bricks in particular. And that's pretty much the point at which we could decide to do the free play mode or the open world mode. I think it makes a lot more sense to do the open world mode at that level. We may very well just burn through the open world section though.
As the villains of Earth lend their help and powers to our heroes.
So you have like a character like Clockman in the background there that may not actually show up in the game.
Okay, now what? I can use this to reverse the energy.
Let's go ahead and skip all of this. This should put us in Apocalypse and Apocalypse levels. Right. And so this would have been after, I guess, they got back to Earth. And I mean, actually, I guess I just don't remember the story at all at this point, because it feels like they went to Earth and Darkseid kidnapped the custom character, rookie character, and went back to Apocalypse, so that they went around in circles, basically. Right. So if we have a character that can fly, can we skip sections completely?
Unfortunately, I have no time to learn how to use this.
Yeah, could we just come in here and break this, I guess. Interesting that the Shazam character would have a
looking good. Let's get to work.
Would have the running ability. I just got an achievement. Interesting. Doesn't seem like I can activate that ability yet. So it looks like we have to fly back.
In blackest night. Looks like someone's ready for a fight.
We can go over here and see if we can accomplish much here. I've, at this point, pretty much run out of things to say. Am I supposed to be catching these when they are gold? I guess I am. Alright. Wow, this is a complicated combination lock. And my character seems to want to really walk back away from the button. And you can see it is locking into the right place. That's a lot. just to
Not
get a
the
mini kit.
exact prize I've been looking for, but I shall take it nonetheless.
Here you can see a whole throne being shielded. All we really want is the red brick. But I don't think we're going to be able to get to the red brick until we clear out this whole area. So pipes over here will destroy these pipes too. Even though they don't seem to really do anything. And I have no idea what I was just bouncing into. Okay. Swap to our next character. It just telepathically can bring that. Can also charge this. So it looks like there's kind of a toxic gas. Alright. Weird. That was kind of nothing. So there's like this toxic gas and it seems like you just have to wait. Or don't wait, I guess. And just fly through it.
This day hasn't been all bad.
And then it just ends. Okay. Let's just activate everything and try and get all the collectibles if possible. Okay. Moving forward. Can now activate this, where it seemed like we couldn't activate that before. Yeah, I suppose it is very... It's not likely to be the case, but it's possible that we will, in a very unsatisfactory way, run through the entirety of the open world very quickly. It can't be that big of an area anyways, and there's not too much to imply that I won't be able to just fly to gold bricks in a lot of cases instead of trying to do any kind of agility parkour type abilities, which that's something the first, or I believe it was actually the second Lego Batman game had this weird catch-22 about, in that there weren't any characters in Lego Batman 2 that could fly, not really, and so you had to use agility characters that would potentially... I guess there's nothing else to do here. Yeah, you had to use agility characters to parkour and jump your way up the sides of buildings. Although, in all fairness, none of the sides of those buildings were memorable, so every little attempt to collect one gold brick was almost immediately forgotten by myself. So what was I supposed to do? to reach this point. Because he's just invincible. Hiding over here. He won't be vulnerable until we can turn off the lava. So there's got to be some character that interacts with this. We'll just cycle through everybody until we see somebody say press B. It's telling me it should be the Joker. Oh. I just needed to do a silver explosion. I suppose I'm in a weird position that I imagine a lot of LEGO game fans are in. In fairness, maybe kids would play LEGO games a little bit faster, or only play some of them instead of trying to play them all. But the way you would experience these games, I think, definitely would be likely to be to play one LEGO game per year and then come back and play the next LEGO game the next year, which that potentially creates a situation where you're playing LEGO games for your entire childhood, well into your teens and 20s. You could play more than one LEGO game per year, certainly, but that invites comparisons that really the LEGO makes them LEGO games suffer because they're too similar to each other. And even if it would be fairly strange to play 4 or 5 LEGO games in a year. Even two LEGO games is really pushing it. I doubt there are too many parents out there that tell their kids they can play LEGO games and only LEGO games. So there would obviously be other Nintendo style kids games that kids would want to play. Okay, so we're over here.
Looks like someone wants to see a magic trick.
I have really just resorted at this point to smashing the B button with the Joker when I don't know what to do. And I guess what you could say, as far as the reboot of the LEGO game, so far so good. They haven't tried to make a bunch of other LEGO games other than the Skywalker Saga, and the Skywalker Saga itself is a entire like combination of mini Star Wars movies. And I definitely do imagine that if Warner Brothers was going to remake LEGO games, they'd probably make one Indiana Jones game to try and be around the Dial of Destiny, which is probably too late at this point. So skip that, and then they would probably move on to making one Harry Potter game and one, Lord of the Rings game. and that would be probably it. The Lego City games probably would never get remade. Anything that otherwise would be somewhat new would probably not get remade. As far as Marvel and DC, I think they would be best suited to try and have one Marvel and one DC game that's really big, and not end up with the Marvel and DC games that they made before, which are, there's just a lot of them. Lego Batman 1, 2, and 3, and then Lego DC Supervillains. Marvel's even worse because there's like a Lego Avengers game, and then Lego Marvel Superheroes 1, 2, and 3, and probably one or two other games. We still haven't found the red brick. Weird. And I don't think there's actually too much I can do. I think I am just gonna have to fight him. I can see that there's Lego pieces appearing, but not enough. So you just get trapped into this fight. Saying absolutely nothing. Maybe he actually does say something in the story mode. I can't activate that again. You can just send beams all over the place. It really does seem like we're just have to wait for him to go through a cycle. Just wait until he cycles for us to be able to get the pieces we need. But then hit him.
My lord, the last piece has been extracted.
So almost certainly the red brick is in this whole section. This definitely felt like a different kind of area. Break that. Let's see what else.
But a small sample of my power.
Kind of would have made sense for Darkseid to have that deep voice the whole time and have more lines of dialogue. Kind of feels like they cheaped out on the lines of dialogue when they could have gotten away with voicing a lot more. In the past, I may have complained about them adding voice acting poorly to Lego games, but this one definitely feels like they just didn't add that much voice acting at all. So I have to cross my fingers and hope that this stage doesn't have the red brick on it, and it's the next stage. We're playing very weirdly in this case because this is free play mode and we have multiple characters. Arguably, you could have done this sequence multiple times. Beating up, say, Ultraman in the same way. Darkseid seems to very much have a boom tube, personal boom tube technology now. Let's see. Where does this take us? Why did that introduce that character? I don't know. Going through that crate really just put us where the mini kit was. Let's do some random smashing just so we're certain there isn't something more somewhere on an island around here. I don't even really care about getting the studs. While it is nice to get studs. It's weird that he just got my character confused and dazed. That's not something you would really expect to happen to the player character in a kid's game. Let's move on to the next platform. This really is just a mess, though, of flying laser beams. It's visually hard to pay attention to. Okay. Flash is needing a charge. I don't think it will do anything until I press Y and swap into the character, or what? Interesting, I had to press Y, the right bump, and change into a character that had a fast-paced running ability. And there's no real collectibles here, so you can see how the visuals there are very glitched. Basically feels like nobody even tested how some of those scripted sequences were going to play in free play mode. By far, this is the most I've had to say I'm confused in the Lego game also, where things just happen and I am not sure why they're happening or if that's the thing I'm supposed to be doing. And that's not a skippable cutscene. Okay, so we use our ability here to bring this down. Then Batman jumps. And Then what? Saying press B. B seems to not really be doing anything. Regardless, I kind of don't think that's it. We have 3 rookies on the field. I can't move the camera to take a picture there. Which I think probably highlights once again the overuse of a custom character. Which I guess if this was a more standard LEGO non-licensed game, if it was just LEGO City and you made a custom character, that would have worked a lot better. But it is extremely strange to play as this custom rookie character when you have so many better options amongst the DC cast of characters, heroes and villains. And you effectively make a custom character, I think, in LEGO Worlds, which was a kind of huge failure of a game, in my opinion. So, custom characters tend not to be that useful or that interesting. The customization in a LEGO game obviously should be around building things with LEGO, not customizing minifigs as much, because in the real world you don't get to customize minifigs. It's just not a thing that happens. If you wanted a custom minifig, you would have to get it from an unofficial source of some sort. And even on that, the custom minifigs I have seen are usually not that different than what you would have gotten as an official minifig. There's just not that much you can change. What am I supposed to be doing here? It feels like Sinestro's ability, which
Ray Palmer, here to save the world.
okay.
Ugh, no good. Wish I had Gideon around to help me figure this out.
Maybe it's a case that this is gold and I'm supposed to blow this up with a laser beam. I don't think so. Well, let's look around again. We're noticeably not getting the red brick. That. And then Batman didn't even jump on that time. Oh yeah, these are bat things, aren't they? This was the thing that just didn't make a lot of sense. So yeah, you activate that one. as Batman. Seems like they almost arbitrarily threw Batman in here, lest you forget that Batman is the best character in many people's opinion, because you really don't play as him, or aren't forced to play as him much at all. The B button does nothing in this case. Yeah, and I don't think that there's like secret pieces you're supposed to be shooting in the background or far off into a corner. That would be weird. It does look like there's possibly some floating rocks that show up every now and then that you could hit when they fall off of him. But again, that doesn't feel like that's a red brick.
Maybe we should get somewhere less.
And I think that's the full level. So I think while we may have gotten some studs there, we actually accomplished very little as far as finding the red brick. And if that's score times 4, that could be a problem. Although we might be able to skip score times 4 just for score times 6. That did not work well at all as an outcome. Guess we unlocked Brainiac. That's some small bit of progress. And I suspect that was the end of the main story before the credits. And so now we'd be looking at the post-game, post-credits levels. Yep. We just missed that red brick. So let's go to Granny's orphanage now and see if maybe the score multiplier is in that level. Although I don't really have a lot of faith that it would be. This is where you get Lobo showing up for no reason. If Lobo was going to be the narrator of this kind of content, he really should have been the narrator of the whole game. And that would have probably fixed a lot of problems. Yeah. It really does just feel like there should have been a narrator storyteller throughout the entire story. Okay, so this is Granny's bathroom, which is an interesting idea. Almost every Lego game has this need to try to make some Lego bathtubs and toilets and things like that. Which isn't the craziest idea, to keep things varied. So now we've got just bubbles of Lego studs and the red brick.
Who would leave this here, and why?
Notice that changes from a variety of studs to just blue studs with one purple in the middle. And that's 100,000, and at that I will just save and exit. We could go through the rest of the level, but we're really only looking for score multipliers. Let's go ahead and skip that. So 4,270,000. No mini kits. Studs times 6. Yeah. Which that does make me suspect that we missed studs times 4. Although I am also very confused as to why this content is giving the important stud multipliers out. I can only assume that this content was added as either a season pass that you paid for, or
Everybody here is so
as
welcoming. It is, how you say, exhausting. Why would they not leave me alone?
free update. It would be nice if it was a free update. So we'll just fast travel to Star Labs, since we finally now have another stud multiplier. But then we have to come over here and press a button, which feels like that would hide a loading screen, but I guess maybe it is hiding a loading screen, even though there's still kind of a loading animation after that point. What would be the shame is if this turned out to be too expensive. We have it. We can't afford the 50 million studs for studs times 8. We can afford this, which leaves me with 270,000 studs, which is just enough to get a gold brick detector or a mini kit detector. Or character token detector. Fast interactions. Everything else is not worth spending money on at the moment. There's no red brick detector, however. So, mini kit detector would be the one to buy later. We'll get gold protector, gold brick. Man, can't speak. Gold brick detector. And let's just see how this works for us. We've got to pause, go to extras, turn on studs times 6, which 2 times 6 equals a multiplier of 12, which now we need to get 50 million coins, and that probably means we would need to get 100 million, if not a billion, to get studs times 10, but we should probably find that red brick just to know the exact amount. Did we turn on the gold brick detector there? No, we didn't go that far. Okay. So we can see there's an arrow pointing just everywhere in the open world, giving you a altitude indicator of where gold bricks are and general direction. Not giving you an actual distance, though. One would hope, too, if there are multiple things you have to interact with to get a gold brick, it would point to all of them, or all of the things would be right next to each other, so that wouldn't be a problem. That being said, still have a couple levels to check out. And when we get into the actual gold levels, the gold brick detector may not matter at all. The levels also have a tendency to give you more studs than running around the open world. It's going to be kind of hard to get 50 million if I just run around the whole open world. Yep. In comparison, we can see as the camera pans around, with Superman not saying anything, that there are no yellow indicators, because the only gold bricks you get in levels are for accomplishing other things at the very end of the level.
Here comes Harley!
Oh yeah! I got it! Another job well done by the half-man, half-machine, all-hero, Cyborg.
Let's hit that. Hit that. There's our red brick. So since we have attract studs, let's just fly around the map a little bit. We'll just grab the studs that are around and see how that feels. Yeah. I think that's as much as I want to do. Like, yes, I could run around this room and break a bunch of things and try and get some more studs. I could run through the entire level and try and get all the collectibles.
This isn't something I was designed for.
Not really thinking that we would do too much there. And so we still don't really know if we get all 5 of the mini kits. Does our stud multiplier apply there? So exit level, save and exit. So it may very well be intelligent to not get all of the studs. I'd have to do that 10 more times in a really inefficient way if I just play 10 free play levels. Super slap is not useful. Really what I think it's going to come down to is probably going back and searching again for that red brick. That way we have them all. Like, we already have that one. Let's go check this one out. See if we can find that. But finding the one that we've missed very possibly is the one to find.
So you're a glutton for fun.
I definitely could have seen an excuse made to not include Vermin Wunderbar, who's obviously a German Nazi type character. Okay. Let's find somebody that can fly. And see how far we can get with that. Okay.
Nothing escapes my arrows.
Seems like everybody's vulnerable to lasers. Which that would make sense. So unless this was go invisible or break things sonically. Okay. I'm just gonna assume that I need to do something else. Get to that point. I'm also making an assumption that the red brick is on that location.
A fascinating specimen, almost worthy of my precious time and attention.
There's clearly something back behind this.
Must I deal with everything myself?
You see, that was a sonic wall, and that didn't really make much amount of sense. And I guess maybe the idea is that the Joker was the character to go through the toxic gases.
Now if I could just find my socks.
Oh, I'll be taking this.
This might be a level in which we can just collect everything, so it might just be worth doing that. Yep, there's the red brick. And yeah, we're so close anyways. Okay. Let's see. That's a funny gimmick. We didn't really see a lot of that, though. Like, there definitely was room for more comedy and Green Lantern silliness.
Might not be green jewelry. Still pretty cool.
And then this one has that weird, like, point where it seems like you would grab that with a grapple, but if you could grab it with a grapple, then the Joker would have been able to do that. And he clearly isn't. That's 4 out of 4. Okay. Was that enough? I don't think it was. I think I needed to come over here and break that. Yeah. you really are spending a considerable amount of time just switching between characters. Which that's a problem with almost every LEGO game once you get into free play mode. The amount of characters you have will drastically increase or decrease how much you're switching, but like it will be a fairly large amount. So is there any reason to continue playing at this point though? No, because we have all the mini kits, the red brick, 4 gold bricks, full true villain, and the face tagging, spray painting. Take note, we're at 513,800 studs. So, save and exit. That should get us to 1,015,000. So 5 of this should give us like 20,000, but instead it gave me about 60,000. We got the red brick for party hat mode, we got the tagging, and we got all the bricks, gold bricks, but getting the gold bricks doesn't give us studs, and getting the character doesn't give us studs. Only getting mini kits gives us studs. And I have no idea who that character is that we just unlocked. So yeah, I guess if there is a multiplication happening for getting all the mini kits, it's probably not going to be a considerable amount of studs unless you have all the stud multipliers. Yeah, a score times 10 at this point would give us 120 times the multiplier. And let's just keep on going and do this last one. So where was that new character that we just unlocked? I thought he was somewhere here in the left, but I'm not sure. I don't see him. Maybe you have to purchase him after the fact.
I hear there's some haunted trees out near Arkham. Wonder if there's any
There's like
magic
characters that say
trees
locked,
out
and then
there.
there's characters that say locked. And then there are characters that seemingly we can't buy, even though we should be able to buy them. Something weird is happening here. Maybe it's because I'm not standing on the ground. Yeah. Which again, that's just weird that you can't purchase characters while you're hovering above the ground. Anyways, let's not worry too much about that. Although, in all fairness, if you're a kid and you were trying to purchase a character and then the game was just arbitrarily not letting you, that would be frustrating. Let's go ahead and skip this. This level could be particularly frustrating. Although it doesn't have to be. This could go fairly quickly.
Black Manta has risen from the deep.
I am very glad that none of the other characters do that kind of call out. There's definitely a possibility that they would have had every single character do a shout out every single time you switch to them. There we had a little bit of a hitch. This wouldn't be the first LEGO game though where I've seen the laser beam elements be a little hitchy. Particularly when you're surrounded by these lava effects and volcano effects. One would hope that the new Unreal Engine version of LEGO games would be able to do better visual effects without running into trouble. That character really comes out of nowhere. But there's just this, I don't know if it's supposed to be a robotic monster or what. This whole level is just increasingly getting wonky. So he has this whole secret treasure room with statues of himself. And then we've got another one of these. I hope I'm going the right direction. Looks like I did. That was kind of a weird puzzle in that you started in the middle and potentially could have skipped several sections. Attract studs and red brick. So then it really is just going to come down to, should I decide to continue down this level? Okay. I think we'll stick with this level and go with it. Let's see. I got stuck behind an item. Interesting. Why is Joker controlling Batman's flying vehicle in that case? He should be summoning the Chattering Teeth. There's no other way through that, and I may just have to play as Batman because I just don't think he's blowing up the thing that needs to be blown up. See, he has a whole different little plane, but he does have a plane. But the Joker's plane is not equivalent to the Batman's plane. which makes no sense at all.
This isn't exactly in my wheelhouse.
It's just not
Someone
how
else will need to try it.
it should have been built.
Ah, finally.
That's another
Something
mini
to
kit.
get my pretty little paws on.
This will give us one more opportunity to go through Speed Force without crashing into anything. You only have 3 paths there, so I crashed again. So you kind of have to remember where you are in the 3 paths. Yeah, I just don't think I would likely ever get through one of these runs without crashing into something. Interesting, I didn't realize it electrocuted you. We got the music wrong. Green, red, blue, yellow, blue, green. Of course, this just puts you into this boss fight. We can't skip that. So I kind of assume that I've just... Alright.
Let's see you survive this.
Is it worth it to take on this boss fight? I don't feel like it really is. This is a character that normally would have a gun. I have no idea. But yeah, we can move the camera around and see that it definitely doesn't feel like...
Come now. You truly believe you can defeat me?
Right. So let's target the other ones.
Is as inept as the rest of your skills.
So if you miss, he moves. So there's no reward for intentionally missing. And notice how the minion there got trapped.
He thinks he doth cut such a dashing visage. It wears undergarments on the outside. There lived a man.
There's just nothing happening as he sings.
Dour and grumpy and boring in chat. That's why he doesn't have any friends.
Massive amount of studs for killing the minions. And arguably that should have been the only sequence in which that happened, and then once that sequence happened he should have just been dizzy, and then you should have been able to punch him, and then that would have been the end of the fight. Instead they feel the need to repeat the whole action, so we're gonna get him.
Best you can do. I had expected so much more.
We have to do this a second time.
Nothing.
Is there and a beauty
And once again, a minion gets stuck.
In her pageant colors red, white, and blue, but she's more Miss
If anything, this is
so quick
an example of thinking that there would be a more difficult version when there really should be more difficult versions of challenges in LEGO games. That was a lot quicker, but it still would make a lot of sense for him to just be dizzy at that point. Or at least make him dizzy the first cycle and then not dizzy the second cycle.
Let's see you survive this.
I don't think there's an opening where you can easily hurt him. The up and down jump seems like it might break his invulnerability shields. And then once you defeat him, it lets you punch him several times. There was one game where you could just continuously punch an enemy after you defeated him, and as long as you kept on pressing the X button within a certain amount of seconds, it would just keep on letting you beat on him. It was a very brutal beat 'em up style game though. So yeah, I screwed that up. And that's studs times 10. Okay. So then what we're looking for would be studs times 4. I think. Let's just double check that. Let's go back and try and get that. We'll go a little long this episode, and then starting with next episode, we'll just run through the entire overworld. Maybe it'll take 1 hour, maybe it'll take 2 to 6 hours in the overworld. I'd be surprised if it took much more than 6 hours. Like, what we can check here is under the extras. This is locked, where this is available to buy and this is available to buy. Everything else, I believe, is also available to buy. So there's only one red quirk left, and we know where it is, in that it is Dark Side of the Moon. So it's just going to be a matter of figuring out what we missed.
Busy, busy, busy.
Lois Lane here, reporting live from the streets of Metropolis. As the villains of Earth,
I have no
lends their
idea who
help
the
and
character
powers
is
to
on
our
the
heroes.
left back
Let's
there
hope
that
their
fell
usual
down.
mischief and mayhem doesn't ultimately impede the justice.
Okay, now what?
There is definitely
Reverse the energy and
a more mischief and mayhem type quest and levels that should be in this game.
universe shall belong to me.
Like, since it is DC supervillains, you would think that they would have more mini missions and goals that... Okay. I bet it's here. Maybe not. Is there... We'll see how far down we can fly and how far to the left and right. Okay. I see a Batman thing. Switch to a Batman character. We'll just switch to Batman. Let's see. And then we've got spears that we've got to psychically throw. I'm psychically moving the present that's way over there instead of throwing the next spear. I assume I just have to do this 3 times and that they're going to land in those same positions every single time. Okay, that was weird. Maybe there's an arrow character. Maybe somebody like Green Arrow would probably be good. Let's find. There we go, Green Arrow.
I'll have this taken care of with ease. Unfortunately, I have no time to learn how to use this. Am I supposed to be threatened by the likes of you? Please.
To me, it seems like it would make the most sense that the red brick. Wow, I'm surprised you can even get that far. It would make a lot of sense that it would be right behind this throne room. Every time I get killed, it's going to take me back to the last place I set my feet down somewhere, which is way back here. Where is it hiding? I got really confused by all of this. You have 3 balloons. You break all the balloons. Gives you studs. really just doing the level again. Where is the secret? I'm thinking it might be in this room. You have this like aquarium. So maybe. I guess sometimes he throws dynamite and sometimes he throws exploding pies. Okay. So maybe we missed it because we needed to do this. We just never did that. Let's see what flipping this switch does. That powers the top of that. And yeah, so there's nothing here from the looks of it. So am I supposed to, as some electricity-proof character, go and line up in that electricity? Or were you supposed to power the device first? Yeah, I wonder if by stopping this, you depower the throne, and that's how you get to your final red brick. So yes, we're gonna have to play through all of this again. We may have to play through all of this a third time even. If this is as complicated as it may seem like it might be. Honestly, if they got rid of the mini games where you jump inside the computer and you were just every time tapping X or tapping B as a quick time event challenge, that probably would have worked just as well. They are effectively a distraction when you leave the whole screen to do inside the computer mini games, and they've always felt not very Lego game-like. Although I guess that is kind of the problem with Lego games too at this point, is that they've established what feels like a Lego game so solidly because they've made so much that it feels almost blasphemous to try to introduce any new gameplay mechanic or idea. We still haven't gotten to the point where we found one character capable of doing everything, and we probably never will. Okay. So we'll see what flipping the switch here does. Can't hit the switch at certain rotations. So that depowered the chair. So before we do anything else, let's go figure out what is the value in sitting in the chair. Well, it looks to me like it can't be Lex Luthor. I'll try Cyborg.
So I gotta deal with this? It's a good thing I'm awesome.
So we're just tapping X, I guess absorbing power from his throne. In the DC universe, the throne, I think, is kind of a big concept as an idea. Although, I might actually be thinking about the Marvel universe. Okay, as far as other collectibles go, though, we didn't get everything in this level. I really wouldn't be able to tell you what I missed, nor do I really care to engage with it at this point, so let's just save and exit, since we're already going along. So we'll have to once again get back to that free play level. There is definitely an argument, though, that it might make sense to go through all the free play levels just to get a few more studs, even if there's no more collectibles to be collected. So there's our missing studs times 4 multiplier. There's also, I suppose, a danger here in that I have only 36 out of 75 achievements unlocked on Steam, so there's potentially 4 or 5 achievements that might require doing specific things, like playing as the Joker and beating up Batman, or playing as Batman and beating up the Joker. Something that the achievement itself would almost certainly just explain. fast travel to Star Labs and go ahead and see if we can purchase studs times 4. We're picking up studs just as we walked into the loading section. At 3 million, we might be a little short. Okay. Studs times 2. Studs times 4 is 1.5 million. Stud times 6 we already have. We're not anywhere close to that. Anything else? It's probably worth it to get guide studs. We need 250 million for studs times 10. Let's get demolition mode and fast interaction mode. And it's not really too wasteful to go ahead and get DC captions mode. The rest of these I think we can get later. And well, I mean, we'll just go ahead and get them all while we can. Super Slap is probably a stupid one to purchase. Character token detector might be worth getting too. And we can't afford mini kit detector. So it gets us almost everything. We're missing 3 red bricks. The studs times 10, the studs times 8, and the mini kit detector. So that puts us in a very good position now to come over to the extras and just immediately turn them on. Studs times 4 gives us a multiplier of 48. Collect guide studs. Character detector on. Demolition mode on. Fast interactions on. Super slap on. Helium mode on. Party hat mode on. Big head mode on. Combat confetti on. DC captions on. Pew pew mode. And paint splat footprints. So we'll just turn everything on. The big head mode is a new feature that honestly I think works fairly nicely. If LEGO actually made big heads like this to kind of combat Funko Pops, it might be an interesting idea, but instead LEGO went with the direction of brick heads, where they are very square heads. Turning big head mode off, we still have people with party hats, and it does seem to me
You don't want me spilling my white paint on your white lap, Hotel. It'll stain.
Seems like there's red and blue party hats, and that's about it. And you can hear the helium mode there. So demolition mode, I assume, is that I'm just walking into things and they are breaking instead of me having to press the X button. I think by default I probably will still try to like press the X button and do things like that. Pew pew mode. You can hear them saying pew pew pew. So there's a couple of these I think I want off. Just because I think they're going to be annoying. When I punch something, you get the zoink plow. But when I just walk into something, you don't get the DC captions. Which we'll play with that for a while. And we could, I guess, just start our quest for gold bricks in this area. The paint splat footprints don't really look like much. You can see they're just leaving a little bit of a circular step of different colors, whereas I feel like you just wouldn't leave any footprints. Otherwise, most of these gimmick abilities are pretty useless. Super slap, yeah, you leave just square footprints from where you've stepped. I don't even know why you're leaving footprints at all. That seems like a real waste of resources. And it does just make an odd assumption that everybody's feet are dirty. Just break as much stuff as possible. So I've basically cleaned out this whole area, and you can see I'm back up to 2 million studs. There's still a few things to do in an area, and this is not really the way I would play a enclosed area or the open world area. Not really. I would much quicker. Hopefully I'll be much quicker if I can make a complete sentence. Alright, well, as we can see, there's kind of a considerable amount of mini kits that we're missing, which just tells me there must be mini kits in the open world. We have 113 of 270 characters, but we've done no races, so we haven't unlocked any new vehicles since the very beginning of the game. We have all 20 of the red bricks, and most of those are purchased, so it's just going to be a matter of getting 50 million, which won't take too long, then running back to Star Labs to get the next multiplier, and then getting 250 million to get the final multiplier. We have 59 gold bricks, and in the next episode that will definitely skyrocket. I think we'll run around an entire area and very quickly unlock 50, 60 gold bricks. And we will probably cheat a lot of it too, and not even try to do it legitimately. We probably have enough gold bricks to unlock most, if not all, of the statues, depending on whether the statues cost increasing compounded amounts of gold bricks to build. I wouldn't be surprised if the very last gold statue you try to build requires all 224 gold bricks. It's weird that they didn't even bump it up to 250. Seems like you could have added another 30 or 26 bricks. There's also a lot of levels in which we're just not true supervillain, and even now if I entered a level, I'd get true supervillain very quickly, if not instantaneously. So there is a lot of hope here that we will now burn through the overworld fairly quickly and only spend 3 to 6 hours instead of potentially 6 to 20 hours in the open world, and then we will get back to doing the final cleanup of the free play levels, and then we'll get to 100% completion. Of course, for a lot of players, it's worth pointing out, kids, if they weren't particularly excited about this game, which the statistics as far as completionism on the achievements does imply a lot of people didn't even get to the credits. It would be very acceptable, certainly, to stop playing Lego games after you've seen the credits, or whenever you get bored, whichever happens first, instead of playing all the way to 100% OCD completionist type gameplay, like I'm doing. Anyways, we've gone long. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. There's a bunch of social media and support links down below in the description if you want to check those out. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.